Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me. Today we will be practicing yin, and we'll need a tennis ball or a massage ball for today's class. We're going to do a bit of myofascial release. Wow, guys, so this is my last class that I'll be filming in this space in Dahab, Egypt for now. And it is, excuse me, it is really, truly a humbling experience to honor this chapter. So much happened. I'm going to be integrating for some time to come. And it's on to the next adventure. Wow, yeah, so many feelings and so much gratitude for those of you that have been practicing with me for any amount of time over this past year. We've always been right here. So we'll see what classes look like moving forward. Hopefully we have an equally lovely space, bigger and brighter things ahead. So with that, let's jump right in. We're going to start with myofascial release. So have your tennis ball or massage ball nearby and make your way into a pentacle pose. A mini shavasana, opening the legs wide, opening the arms wide, taking up space. But you can bend your legs, bring the soles of the feet down to the ground. And take a moment and simply arrive at whatever pace you need to. Begin to notice what's present in the body right now. Take 3 big clearing breaths together. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. One more time, just like that. Big inhale, fill up. Exhale, big sigh, let it go. And then from here on out, you'll use your breath to keep your focus inwards, to experience this moment as it is, as it's unfolding. So now we'll use our ball and we'll bring it underneath, or rather, we'll bring it anywhere to the right side of the spine in the upper back. So you don't want to place the ball anywhere that's on a bone or on the spine itself, but otherwise it's going to be somewhat dependent on the body. The goal is to place it somewhere that you can feel an opening. It might be very sensational, it might be super uncomfortable, but ideally it's somewhere you can stay. So you'll find a place on your back that's quite tight, quite tender. Use the next few rounds of breath to explore so you find that spot. And then we'll do a little bit of tension and release. So you can float your right hand off of the ground and then begin to make a really tight fist. The ball will stay on whatever point is quite tender. See if you can really engage the muscles of the arms as well. And now you release everything to the floor. So let it be really passive. You might notice sensation changes. And you'll do that a few more times in your own way. So creating tension in that right arm, floating it off of the floor, and then relaxing it down to the earth. One more time as you were. All right. And now we will move to the left shoulder. So if you are in your own practice, you can move in your own way, really anywhere you want along the body, along the back. And tension and release is a great tool to really help you get into the deeper layers of the body's fascia, or to help you work with the body's fascia more efficiently. So find a place in your left side of the upper back. Woo. And you can also move the arm in any way. It can expose areas of tension. So find your spot, and then you can begin to create a tight left arm, really engaging the muscles, noticing how that affects sensation. And release. Cool. And then in your own time, you can do that a few more times. And when ready, slowly release. You can remove the tennis ball off to the side. Just simply relax, feel for a moment. All right, and this is a little bit funkier, a little bit less practice, but very powerful. So we're going to now be using the tennis ball in the upper chest around the pecs. So we'll place the ball anywhere that you would like to, anywhere really from the right shoulder, the inside of the shoulder, all the way through to the chest. So again, you don't want to be placing the ball directly on a bone, so you don't want it to be on the sternum, but you'll find areas of tension. For me, typically it's right near the armpit, right near the upper chest, right to the inside of the shoulder socket. You'll find your own sweet spot. And we set this shape up by lying on our bellies. So you can lie mostly on your belly, and then you can slide the tennis ball underneath the right arm, the right shoulder, the right side of the chest. Ooh, yeah, find a sticky spot. And you can relax the head down to the floor if that allows, or just release any unnecessary tension. And then you can begin to make a tight fist with the right hand. Woo. Very tender, stay with the breath. And release. Do that a few times. And then we will do the same thing on the opposite side. So now bring the ball to the left side of the chest, towards the shoulder, towards the upper armpit. Really, it's dependent on what you need, what you do, how you engage the body in your day-to-day life. And then you can begin the tense and release process in that left arm. Now you're familiar, you can find your own rhythm. And slowly release when ready. Now we'll stay on our bellies, finding extended wing pose. Opening the left arm wide, left arm out to a T. Bend your right leg and then roll to the left, bringing that right foot down to the ground. You can relax your left ear, your left cheek down to the floor, or you can slide a block underneath. And then for this right leg, it can stay on the ground if that feels relatively comfortable. You could also bend your left leg as well and slide a pillow between the legs. Find a shape that you can give yourself to. And then challenge yourself to be still for just about a minute or so. A few more full cycles of breath. And slowly release, lying all the way back to the belly. We'll move right into the opposite side, opening the right arm wide, right arm out to a T. Bend your left leg, and then roll to the right hip, bringing any portion of that left foot down to the floor. Remembering you can move towards that fetal position, or you could really take any adaptation that allows you to feel sensation in the right shoulder while staying connected to the breath. And use every breath as a tool to move within. Last few full rounds of breath. Slowly begin to lower all the way onto the belly. And we'll make our way to crocodile pose, opening the elbows wide, stacking your hands on top of one another, forehead to the hands. Closing the eyes. And letting the body integrate whatever it just experienced, whatever opening that just took place. We'll come into half frog pose. So you can bend your left leg so that it comes to the left side of the body. And then you can bring your left arm to the upper left corner of the mat in a goal pose shape. And relax your right arm by your side. And you can turn your right ear, your right cheek down to the ground. Or you could relax the opposite ear, the opposite cheek down to the ground. Honor what feels good. But this is really about being soft, being gentle. Just feeling how you breathe and noticing how the breath feels against the floor. Observe the back body as it expands, it rises, and it contracts, it falls. Gently bring the neck back through neutral. And you can extend the right leg behind you. We'll do the same, or left leg behind you. We'll do the same thing on the opposite side, bending your right leg. And now we can bring our right arm in the goalpost shape, relaxing your left arm by the side. Left ear, left cheek down to the ground. Closing the eyes and noticing how you breathe. Last few breaths. And slowly release. Once again, crocodile pose, opening the elbows wide, stacking the hands on top of one another, forehead to the hands. Feel free to wiggle the hips. You could windshield wiper the legs. Connect to the breath. Staying with the body. And when ready, you can use your hands to shift the hips back towards a tadpole pose, opening the knees wide enough so that the torso can fall heavy in the hand, or rather between the thighs. Big toes can touch behind you. And then you extend the arms forward, relaxing your forehead down towards the floor. Feel free to bring props underneath the forehead, underneath the chest. With every inhale you take, allow the breath to travel from the tailbone, inflating the side bodies and into the upper chest, the back body. And as you exhale, let the upper body just be really heavy. You're welcome to stay exactly as you are. Or for the last minute or so, we can come into full frog pose. You can first come through tabletop and then open the knees wider. I like to go widthwise on the mat. Your ankles extend from the knees, and really this is all about shifting the hips back. So you can choose to stay up on the palms, or you can come down to the forearms. And we have to be somewhat active in order to maintain the shape, but the premise of yin still remains. We try to be still, we try to be soft and inwardly focused. If you're in full frog pose, you can slowly transition your body weight forward. We all meet in tadpole pose, untucking the toes. And then super slowly as you need to, you can make your way back towards tadpole pose. Knees only as wide as the mat or significantly less. Letting the forehead, the chest be heavy. Closing the eyes and just noticing how you breathe. And slowly you can release. Make your way towards a tabletop position. And then we all meet on our backs. You can bring a pillow underneath the head if you choose. That's optional. And rest on the ground, extending the legs long. Relaxing your arms by the sides. Just feeling the effects of the practice so far. And then you can interlace your hands either behind your head or underneath the pillow if that feels good, if you're using one. No, you can always bend the legs, soles of the feet down to the ground. Our goal is to just simply let breath and gravity slowly open the upper spine. You might feel a lot of sensation, you might feel a little bit of sensation. But wherever you are, you allow the breath to communicate with whatever is here. Begin to rotate your head to the right, nose towards your right elbow tip. Closing the eyes. Staying with the breath. Slowly bring the neck back through neutral. And then you can switch the interlock of the hands behind the head. And just notice how that small change in the placement of the fingertips, notice how it affects the entire shoulder girdle. Just feel the belly rise and fall. Rotate the neck to the left. Bring your nose towards your left elbow tip, allowing the head to be heavy, the elbows to rest heavy in the hands. Just noticing how you breathe. Gently bring the neck back through neutral. And slowly release your arms by your sides. As best as you can, try not to fidget, try not to adjust, or force the body back into a state of neutrality. Instead, just notice what's still moving, what's still shifting. We'll close with a very quick spinal twist. Hug the knees inwards towards the chest, giving yourself a gentle squeeze. You can open the arms wide, arms out to a T. Shift the hips 1 or 2 inches to the left. Keep the knees in close to the chest. And lower the knees to the right, spinal twist. You can choose to keep the neck neutral, or you could also choose to look over either shoulder. Gently bring the knees back inwards towards your midline. Shift your hips 1 or 2 inches to the right. Knees in towards the chest. And lower the knees to the left, spinal twist. You can choose to keep the neck neutral, or you could look over either shoulder. Last few breaths. And slowly release, hugging the knees inwards towards the chest. Giving yourself one last gentle squeeze. And then extend the legs long, relaxing your arms by the sides, palms face up. Any last fidgets, any last little adjustments you need to make within your practice, or rather within Shavasana, within this pose, to really fully just simply be, you can do them now. And then for the next few minutes, you integrate. You allow the body to receive. Begin to deepen the breath, allowing the breath to awaken and enliven the body through very small, simple movements. And when you're ready, honoring the time you need, you can join me in a seat. No rush, no hurry. Letting the sit bones ground, the spine lengthen. Hands through to the center of the heart. This chapter is closing, but a new one will inevitably begin. To that, we bow. Thank you for practicing.